Getamped 2, or GA2, is a free-to-play 3D MMO brawler game. In this game there are a number of game modes you can choose from. You can face off in up to 8-player 4-game mode PvP matches, 1 vs 1 matches, 10-player team tower defense-esque matches, where you attack and defend points, do story missions and or dungeon crawling missions, or play in endless all-out brawls with up to 20 players. But let's face it, no one plays most of that garbage. It's all about PvP, baby doll. In PvP mode, there are 4 modes you can choose from. But no one plays dogfight ever, so it's usually just the first 2, deathmatch and team deathmatch. Both are pretty self-explanatory. In these game modes, there are quite a few different and unique maps you can choose from. So we're only going to pick this one map because no one wants to ever play on any other map in the game. It's wise to play this game with friends, otherwise you're not going to have very much fun. It's a fundamental rule of most competitive games. Now, I'm not going to talk much about PvP because it's boring to talk about, and the open-armed welcoming place that is the community forums have all the vital and important information that you could possibly need. This video is more of a perspective piece rather than a full review of the game. So I'll just start off by saying this. This game sucks. It really does. It's a depressing mess of good ideas and wasted potential fueled by gambling addictions and imaginary fun. This game is like Babby's first competitive game. I don't mean that because the game is easy, I mean because literally the community is just filled with children and awkward teenagers with various glaringly obvious social and mental afflictions. And I'm not saying that just to sound like an edgelord with a superiority complex and a limited vocabulary. For some reason, the players assume there are extra hidden rules in deathmatch and team deathmatch, where the rules are pretty much what the name describes, but they still get pissy if you so much as attack another player while another player is fighting them. In team deathmatch, you're expected to fight quote fair and not dirty end quote. Despite it being a team effort, no one ever wants to go help their teammates and will often wait around if one player from the opposite team is left over and someone from their team is already fighting them. Because for some reason, everyone in this game has a mighty need to get a quick jerk in and prove that they have the biggest anime protagonistic in the whole game. I don't really play deathmatch, but I assume the same rules apply there as well. Just without teams, no one even so much as thinks about how stupid this sounds. It makes it very hard to enjoy playing the game when people just decide to make up their own rules, just like kids trying to gain immunity during role-playing. How it come this is the only game I've seen in my entire life where it's considered widely taboo to team fight in a game mode where you're supposed to act as a team towards a common goal. Before you write a comment trying to dissect the differences between ganging and teamwork, let me offer this to you in rebuttal. Those two words are basically the same thing. Negative connotations or not. I realize the English language is subject to change at any given moment, but we're not here for English class, so I digress. Now we're going to talk about the gambling bit of this game. There are quite a few accessories, which is the name of this game's character weapons, that you can buy using the free game currency, which is called win. But most of those accessories are old and busted. And the newer stuff tends to feel better in terms of playing because the developers naturally got better at coding and designing as time went on. However, most of the newer accessories are bought with the game's real-world money currency, which is called Crescent. You can try your hand at doing special offers by going to suspicious adware-laden websites and fulfilling conditions for free Crescent. However, most of the offer walls have made it near impossible to get reward crescents now, so your best bet is to just spend money on the game, if you don't feel like going through that headache. The shop has accessories that are released every other update and shop usually, or you can use your hard-earned money at gambling for accessories that are way better in lucky draws. And yes, I have done this quite a bit in my time playing this game. I'm not really sure if I should be proud of myself at all. I don't really know how much money I've spent on this game, but I can guarantee you it wasn't just $10 or $20. You're probably looking at me and wondering, why would you do this to yourself, China? And the answer is simple. I like to look at my original characters using cool weapons and stuff in a video game. Because this game lets me do that very freely. It's great, but it's a huge trap. I'm a sucker for the role-playing, even if I'm not exactly role-playing with anyone else. It feels extremely incredible to see your brain children come to life. But China, you ask me. What about other games? There are other great games with amazing character customization in them. Why don't you play those, honestly? I simply do not believe that's true. Sure, there are way better games out there, but I've yet to see a game with a better, more creatively involving character customizer than GA2. GA2's predecessor, Getamped, or better known as Splash Fighters in North America, also has this feature. But the graphics in that game just don't please me as much as GA2's do. In both games, those custom character models are called skins. As they are in most other games. They are called skins because it mostly is just skinning over swappable player model parts. However, there is a part of the model that can be manipulated in a 3D space. Skinning in this game isn't exactly very easy to master. Because of the limitations, you really need to get creative and sometimes plan out what parts you're going to use before going into the editor. It takes a creative mind to figure out what to do with the parts you're given. You're allowed to move the polygons of the skin, but only the hair parts. I believe the reason for not allowing body modifications is so that people don't mess with the player character's hitbox, and possibly exploit this to make themselves nigh invincible. But it could also be because the devs just simply did not think that through and left it as is. The skin editor has no physics or ability to attach parts to other parts of the body, like it would in a regular 3D modeling program. So if an animation of the character model has the hair moving in a certain direction, the hair parts you use, no matter where you put them, will also move in that direction. If you don't mind that slight oversight, then you are free to create whatever you want so long as you have the creative capacity and patience to do so. If you'll allow me to get sappy for a moment, I'm going to show off some things I've made in my years playing this game. These characters are original creations of mine. I hold them very dear to me, especially this one. She's my avatar on nearly every place on the internet you can find me. Being able to play as these characters brings much joy to my heart, and honestly is the only reason, besides goofing off with my friends, why I even bother coming back to this game. I don't share these skins with anyone due to the fact that many of the people who get skins in this game like to hoard them and hold them like trophies of accomplishments that they did not spend hours of their lives to create. This game attracts all kinds of Western anime enthusiasts with its clearly anime aesthetic and Japanese origin, so that kind of entitled behavior is to be expected. I simply do not feel comfortable sharing the files of these things with anyone besides the people I absolutely trust. Mainly because I feel like no one will ever be able to properly appreciate them and will just treat them like trophies. I don't want my brain children to be thought of as the spoils of some kind of accomplishment and just cast into a bottomless pit with a bunch of other trophies. Perhaps it's an artist kind of mindset that I have, but I hope you can understand my feelings from this rambling. Many other people create skins as well, on different GA2 servers too. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this feeling of creating something and seeing it come to life in this game, no matter how bad the rest of the game may be. Many of my ideas for stories for my characters have come from me playing this game. Whether it's from skinning or obtaining new accessories that are released. For me, this game was an endless well of inspiration. In conclusion, GA2 is an experience I've had with me for about 4 or 5 years. Some people have been here longer than I have, but I felt my need to offer words of someone who's been here for a while before this game goes under. Because this game is dying. Slowly and painfully. Entire servers are being shut down despite some of them being very new. Now there are only 2 servers left. They reduced the game channel size of the US server from 4 to 2, possibly due to the lack of players who even use them. It's really depressing seeing a place where I spent so much creative energy, time, and money into is finally showing signs of a possible end soon. How soon that is, only time will tell. I am extremely grateful to have met so many amazing people in my time playing this game. I have had so much fun, and continue to have fun every time I get to play the game with them even now. I'm sorry this got kind of sappy towards the end. Hope it wasn't too overbearing, and I hope you understand where I am coming from with all of this. I have had a long time to sit on this all. Now excuse me while I find something more wholesome to do than harp on a game hardly anyone knows about. Like browsing/JP for the latest discussion in boat girl antics.
Chined. Can I see the act you made? The ass. Can I ask? Can I see the act you made?
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.